Happy day. I'm about to make pound cake for the first time. Have I ever made pound cake before? No. Do I have a cake pan? No. Have I ever made any cake before? No. But we're gonna do this. I'm in Jamaica, so we're gonna use what I have. It might not be the recipe that your grandma uses. For me, it's a recipe that I got off TikTok. Okay? Alright, so we got 6 eggs, room temperature. Some seasonings that I might want to add, like nutmeg and stuff, but we'll see about it. Butter, salted butter, baking powder, vanilla. The recipe I followed, it said vanilla bean paste. We don't have that. So vanilla, salt. We don't have white sugar, so brown sugar, flour. I don't have a cake pan, so we're using these. Alright, so 2 2/3 cup of sugar. Once again, brown sugar because I don't have white sugar. 1.5 cups of salted butter. Okay, that was difficult. I recommend leaving the butter out for a little while to make sure that it's not so hard. One of my students told me she'd be eating butter, so also please don't eat the butter. You know who you are. Next ingredient is oil. How much oil did he use? I do not know. But I'm going to use a 1/2 cup. Okay. He said mix for 5 minutes until it's light and creamy. I do not have an electric mixer, so we will be using a whisk. And my hand started hurting because this butter is so hard. So I'm going to put that to the side, let it warm up a little bit. And I'm going to put in 3 cups of flour. He said all-purpose flour because cake flour is too soft and you want it to be a little firm. Now we're adding 3/4 teaspoon of salt and 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And putting that to the side, giving this a try. Okay, so it's already getting easier. The TikTok that I'm following said that it should be light and creamy. I don't know if this is light and creamy, so I'm going to give it a little bit more, and then I'm going to add some eggs. All right, this is what we got. I'm adding in 1 egg at a time. I'll show you after I do the last egg. Okay, so this is what we got. I mixed every time in between each egg. Next, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of vanilla bean paste. I don't have vanilla bean paste, so we're adding 3 tablespoons of vanilla. Okay, the recipe for the guy that I'm following said that he once added lemon zest and orange something, and that his family yelled at him. I would also, because that sounds disgusting. However, I just asked my husband, nutmeg, cinnamon powder, or neither, and he said everything. So I'm gonna add a little bit of nutmeg and a little bit of cinnamon powder too. There you go. Right, he said add a little bit of dry mix. How much is a little bit? I don't know. Ask your mama. I'm gonna add a little bit, and then next, he says to add sour cream. Our son wholly protested that. Plus, I don't think the grocery store had sour cream. You know, since the hurricane, some of the items are not there. And then also, it's the holiday season. So instead, we're going to use Greek yogurt. He says it's supposed to be 1 cup. This is 150 grams, which is about 3/4 2/3 cup of yogurt. I don't know. But we'll see. I'm going to add this in there. The sour cream supposedly is for moisture. I don't know if it was necessary, but you know, like I said, it's the first time I'm making it, and we just winging it here. Hopefully it's good, because pound cake is my favorite cake, and my husband's favorite cake outside of cheesecake. So after I added this Greek yogurt, I'm going to add the rest of my dry mix. Okay, I ended up adding another 1/3 of the mix, and then I'll add the rest in a few. The warning he gave was not to overmix. It's supposed to be thick, not really running. My next step will be to grease and flour these pans. Did it to all the pans, and I'll start pouring them in. He says bake at 325 for 45-50 minutes. I'm gonna ask my husband what that is in Celsius instead of looking it up. Google. What is 320? What is 325 Fahrenheit at Celsius? Thanks. 45-50 minutes, don't overbake. Okay, husband was incorrect. I looked at actual Google and it says 325 Fahrenheit is 162 Celsius. They are finished baking, hot, and I'm gonna add some pre-made icing. Good morning. This is so good and moist. I let it sit overnight. I just put some icing on top. It's not really like decorated cutely, but this is good. One about gone, taking the rest to church.